Hey everybody, thanks for joining me today. Hopefully you are doing well. I'm having a good day. And it's going to be a fun day too because I have, I think, a fun project to make a rattle. This is a rattle that I made some time ago, and so the idea is to make something real similar to it. And rattles are an interesting, fun, and a wee bit challenging, but I think it's very doable. And the nice thing about rattles is they're decorative, so they look nice, I think. But maybe you want yours to make music. I'm not musically inclined. Or maybe you want it to be ritualistic, because you can put all kinds of iconography or designs on it, whatever you choose to do. This is going to be a two-part video. The first part is to make the rattle part itself, to get it shaped and smooth and slipped. Part two, after it gets dried, we'll get it painted. Again, you can paint it any way you like, and then get the handle put on this as well. But maybe you don't want to put on a handle on your rattle, so this is another one that I made. You can just make a round ball and turn that into a rattle as well. Whatever, it's your choice. So let's get going. So there are a couple of ways to approach making this orb, and my plan is to shape it around something that's already round. This happens to be a Durodango that I made before. There's a video about that out there somewhere. And I've covered it in plastic. And so what I'll just do is drape the fresh clay over the top of that and form my orb. So we'll move on to that. Another option would be if you had something that was hollow and round, the shape you wanted it to be, and you could build that shape from that. Or a third option would be to make a pinch pot and just kind of form something into the kind of shape that you want. But this is the way I'm going to go with it. Okay, I have a piece of wild clay here. I'm flattening it out. And the goal is to put it over the top of this round ball and then ultimately cut it off. The thing that I have found is that this clay is not real plastic, and so it tends to crack pretty easily. So to do it all in one go doesn't work very well. I'm going to do this in pieces, I think. I think it'll work better this way. Drape it over here. Yeah, that's actually working pretty good. So this clay is really pretty wet, but for forming like this, that seems to be working pretty good. Mostly what I'm doing here is trying to make sure that these seams are pretty well stuck together. So I will let this dry. Now the thing is, if you let it dry too much, the clay is going to shrink and it will crack. So there's a little bit of judgment that has to come into this, but it's going to sit for at least an hour or two. I'll come back and test it. Then ultimately, I'll smooth this a little bit and then cut this in half, pull the two halves together, take the ball out, and then stick the two pieces together again. At least that's the plan. The ball has been sitting for 2 or 3 hours. It's still quite wet. It was very wet clay to begin with. It's a little bit lumpy, which I don't think is a problem. But I have found that if I use a little piece of wood like this and tap it, it's kind of like paddle and anvil, and it kind of reduces some of those lumps and things. You can see on this rattle that I kind of made a neck on the top and the bottom, and that was, the purpose is just to give more surface area for the handle to go through the middle of the rattle. And you can see actually here it chipped off a little bit. So I think what I'm going to do this time, as long as this clay is still nice and kind of damp and soft, this is a good time to add that to it. It'll stick better, less likely to get a crack where the seam is. And then after things have dried out more, I'm going to do it tomorrow morning, I think. That's when I will actually cut this in half and get it into two different pieces. So I think I'll cut the hole in first, do a little bit of surgery, and I will clean this up more later. Okay, let's first put a little water on here to get a good fit. And I have just a chunk of clay. I punched a hole through it. Let's see how this goes. I'm sure it'll need to be trimmed up some. Very soft clay. Okay, I would say for right now that is good enough. Again, and tomorrow I'll clean it up. It's the next morning and the rattle has been wrapped up in this cloth overnight. The clay is feeling very firm. And this is kind of the ticklish part, because if the clay is too wet and soft, once you pull it apart, it all wants to kind of collapse and it's hard to hold its shape. But if it's too firm, and then it's hard to get things to stick back together because it's just too dry. And this is possibly too much on the firm side. So my thought here is to try and smooth this out pretty good, clean up these ends, then cut it in half. Hopefully it'll all pull off. Now, I know that it was totally too far if I started getting cracks here, because the clay is shrinking around the ball. The ball does not give at all. So if I left it on for another day, almost guaranteed there would be cracks all over the place. Soften this up a little, and then I can use a stone to smooth it out. I think it's a little easier to do most of this now than to wait, because once it's in two pieces, it's just, it's more fragile. This stage is called stone smoothing, which is different than polishing. The stone that I use here is just an ordinary rock. I pick them up along the curb somewhere. It doesn't have to be super smooth. In fact, it's better if it isn't. The whole point here is just to get out the high areas and fill in any low areas. Now, I'm not trying to polish and make it all shiny at all. I'll do that somewhat when I put on the slip. But mostly I just want an even, consistent surface. Okay, this is now the moment of truth. I've got a hacksaw blade. I'm just going to use it for marking the center of this. It doesn't have to be perfect because the two pieces are going to go back together anyway. I'm also going to make a mark here like this, so that way I'll know where the two pieces go together. So it's kind of stuck together. It's not wanting to come apart. I can't seem to get it to move much. So I'm going to see if I can just kind of blow into this a little bit and see if I can get a little air separation between the clay and the ball. Twisting it pretty hard here. There we go. So I'm twisting it a little bit, and I can feel it giving a little. I think it's actually better that it's extra firm. Okay, so that's one half. That looks all right. I think there's a certain amount of suction that's happening here. There we go. Kind of worked pretty good actually to push that through with a pencil. And so here's our two marks, so it goes together like this. Not perfect, but we'll get this all fixed up. It'll be okay. And so now it's time to put these things together. One of the challenges is that we're going to glue it together with some just thick clay, or very wet clay. But it's much more wet than our little globe here is, or rattle. And so what I want to do is wet these edges down good and wet. One of our challenges here, we'll never be able to put any pressure on the inside because we want as good a seam as we can. We don't want our seam to fail in the drying or firing process. Another thing to do is to score it a little bit. I think that one thing that's happening with that is that it creates more surface area. And we just like frosting a cake in a way, I guess, isn't it? Use plenty of frosting to get the pieces to stick together. Very much helps to have our two cut marks here. I think it should fit together just like that. Push them together. So everything's a little out of shape, but we can just kind of ease it together here. Okay, I'd say that's not too bad, and I'm just going to let this dry for a while, and then I'm going to come back and work on it a little bit more. But one way to make it more round is to use a lid from a bottle. And if you watch the video I made on Durodangos, this is the way they do that as well. So you can make it pretty round. There's a bit of an indent at the seam, and part of that is going to be that is a wetter clay, and so it's going to shrink more than the clay that is more dry. But doing this will take out some of the bumps. It is also making scratches on it, but I'll smooth those out. One of the things is I use a pretty heavy-duty temper, and so sometimes the lip of the cap kind of grabs those little pieces of grog and drags them across and makes a mark. The rattle has been sitting overnight wrapped up, and it is now really very firm. It's leather hard. It's cold to the touch, cool to the touch, but it's definitely time to get it slipped. I wouldn't want to wait any longer. And you don't need to slip a project like this. It's just that this is a color of clay that I like, and it kind of cleans everything up. This is a clay slip that is very forgiving in that I can put it on as thick as I want. It never I've never had an issue with it crackling or anything like that. And I typically put on 2 coats. I think that's good enough. There's not much to that, is there? The rattle has been sitting for about an hour. And the key for me, but putting on the second coat of slip, is that this isn't tacky or sticky in any way. And so I can rub my hands across it and none of the clay comes off. So I think we are ready to go. You may have noticed too that I didn't put any rattles inside of this thing. I intended to. Normally what I would use are some pottery sherds that are already fired. So what I'm going to have to do is just get some small sherds that will fit down the hole. And I think, that would be a very large BB-like thing. I think that'll be fine. I slipped the rattle this morning, and now it doesn't feel dry. It's cool, and that's what you want. You want it to be leather hard, and just get a nice, very smooth, polished stone like these, or you could use the back of a spoon for that matter. And my goal is just to take my time and polish it. Now, in my case, I'm not looking for a real high polish. Some people do. Some slips polish real easily, others don't. And this slip tends to be a little sticky. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but it tends to stick to the stone. If it's really sticky, it may mean that you're polishing it too soon, or if it sounds crackly, scrapey, that means that you let it dry too much. So there's kind of a sweet spot in there. One thing that you can also do is cover this in plastic and then polish on top of the plastic, and it just sort of reduces the friction. There you have it, one rattle that is made and slipped and polished. All that really has to happen now is for this to completely dry, 100%. Then I will paint it and fire it, and then ultimately put a handle on it and get it so it rattles like this. So this is the end of part 1 of this project. I will be back next time to finish this all off and hopefully turn it into a nice rattle. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. Your comments, thumbs up, subscriptions, all that stuff helps a little channel like this grow. Till next time, this is Wes wishing you health, happiness, peace, and love. Take care. Bye-bye.